taught you how to skate. I taught you how to score. I taught you how to go for the W. You could have been one of the greats. And now look at yourself. You're not even a has-been. You're a never was.
Welcome to The Last Row. My name's Drew, and I am here with my good man, Badway.
Hey, what's up?
On this podcast, we're going to watch, discuss, and analyze movies that were poorly received or considered box office bombs and try to find the silver linings.
Yeah, we'll discuss what worked, what didn't, and put our own little twisted spin on some of the plot points, maybe recast a little bit, just basically have some fun with the movie.
Yeah, we're not going to take it too seriously.
No, we're taking it seriously. Stop that.
So before we get into the movie that we watched this week, let's tell you how you can get in touch with us. We have a Twitter. It's at The Last Row Pod.
Tweet us.
We are on the Twitter. We also have a website. You can visit it at thelastrowpodcast.com. You can search for us on Facebook.
Facebook us.
You can also find us on Google+.
Google Plus us.
We also have a voicemail line that if you feel very strongly about this movie or you want to tell us what you think about it, you want to leave us a message, you want to say hello, give us a call. It's 415-779-5278. That's 415-779-LAST. And finally, just head on out to iTunes if you like what we're doing. Give us a 5-star review and let us know what you think. We appreciate all criticism, constructive criticism. Want to know what you guys think about the show or any movies that we should watch in the future.
Yeah, if you're going to bash us, still give us the 5 stars. You can write whatever you want in the comments. Just give us the 5 stars.
So I guess that brings us to the movie of the week.
Yes.
Right? Why do you want to tell everybody what movie we watched?
The Mighty Ducks.
Classic.
The Disney classic. Kids movie, but fun for the whole family.
My experience with this movie is as a kid, I did not see it in the theater, but I do have fond memories of it.
Yeah.
And it had been a while since I had seen it. It's been on TV here or there. I'd watch it a little bit.
Catch a scene.
Yeah. Like, it's been a long time since I've watched it in its entirety.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what was your experience with this as a kid?
Well, yeah, I didn't see it in the theater either. I remember I had the white shell case Disney VHS cases that they had back then.
Why were they always bigger than other movies? Are they trying to outdo everybody?
Because they were literally bigger movies. They were.
I mean, they were trying to
Disney,
outdo everybody
right?
with those cases.
Yeah, they tried to be special, and they put them on moratorium, and it was complete nonsense. But I guess, hey, it works. Like, it's just Disney being Disney, for lack of a better
classic
term.
Disney, vintage Disney.
Vintage Disney. So let me run down a quick brief plot of this. So for anyone who doesn't know, and by the way, spoiler heavy alert here.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this movie in the last 23 years, however long it went out, just stop listening right now if you don't want spoilers.
Yeah, no, you should probably just listen.
Just listen anyway.
You know.
So Emilio Estevez is a hotshot lawyer with a checkered past with hockey. We'll get into later. So he just wins his big case, his 30th case, and he goes on a DUI drinking spree, gets caught, nabbed, suspended from his job, sentenced to 500 hours community service to coach Pee Wee hockey team in Minnesota. Minnesota. He hates the kids hate him, they're losers, but then they turn into winners.
They kind of are losers.
It becomes a feel-good story, they begin to like each other, go on to the big game, the championship, rags to riches type story, yada, yada, yada.
So on and so forth.
Yes. So.
I just think and we'll post the picture to the website, but there was this really funny picture that I sent our friend Ty, a fellow podcaster. I sent him this picture when we were talking about this movie. It was Gordon Bombay, drinking the beer, driving his Corvette.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you a question about that, because in this scene, it's Gordon Bombay driving heavily intoxicated because he just won some hotshot case.
Yes.
He's driving down, there's probably at least 2 inches of snow on that road. Yeah. He's driving a Corvette with a car and the license plate says "Just Win."
Just win, baby.
And that conflicts with some things, and we'll talk about that as we go through. But I'm calling him out on having that attitude because I feel like Riley screwed up his whole life, and we'll get into it more later. But I feel like I don't think he would get to that point based on his experience. But he's driving on this road. And he's not skidding out. He's driving pretty fast.
Well, listen, he's born and raised in Minnesota. He knows how to drive.
He's got those Blizzak tires on there.
He knows how to drive in
on
snow.
the Corvette.
I don't even think he needs the snow tires. He's been there, done that. All right?
I just imagine that thing fishtailing like all over the place, and he's driving like a race car driver down the street.
He drives better when he's had a few. All right.
I can't disagree with that with him.
So he's drinking his Molsons or whatever the hell, and he's mad for drunk driving. All of a sudden, he's got to coach Pee Wee hockey. So let me ask you this: how do you think this movie measures up purely from a kid's perspective? Like it has the pranks. It's got the poop joke in the middle. They've got insults. They tell each other to shut up all the time. It's the classic kids movie type
Vintage.
thing.
Oh man.
And it's a little edgier for a 93 for a Disney movie, right? It has some cursing.
There was a lot. That's the one thing I want to tell you. There was a lot more cursing in this movie than I remembered as a kid. And I guess as a kid you don't really pay attention to that. Maybe you do, but for me, when I heard them say like stupid ass, and they were throwing a lot of dams out there.
Yeah, the kids, right? The kids.
For a kids movie, I thought, that wouldn't be in a kids movie these days.
No, not at all.
That I know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, as a kids movie, I think at least I'll look at it how I remember it as a kid. It had the rollerblading with the neon colors. Yeah. I mean, that's what I remember of the 90s, rollerblading and neon, like hot yellow, hot pink, electric green. But I think it was good. It made kids want to play hockey. And I don't know if this was a propaganda film from the NHL back then, but I thought hockey was popular.
A hockey boom in the early 90s. Had the montage of the mall. I remember that as a kid.
Yeah,
I remember the opening prank where they basically they get a purse and they follow a dog around. Yeah. They feed him chili. They have him poop in the bag, and they prank some guy. Like I remember those stupid things. I remember Fulton Reed's big shot. I remember all that stuff. But I don't really like you said. I haven't really watched this movie all the way through in such a long time.
One of the things I guess I didn't appreciate when I was a kid, and I don't really appreciate it right now, but the love story between Bombay and Charlie's mom.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how creepy Bombay was in trying to basically get with her.
Yeah. I was thinking of that, through Disney's point of view here. You haven't seen that, he just kind of backed into this and he finds that the mom is nice and this and that. But really, from a different perspective, you could see it as Bombay, his entire aim here is to get with Charlie's mom. Like,
definitely. From
the jump, as soon as she steps on that ice, like he's driving the kids around on the ice in a limo, she pulls them all out, and he starts yelling at him, and he's thinking like, I like this girl.
He had a thing for her. But she's kind of a plain Jane, right?
She is.
I mean, she's not a supermodel. You'd think a hotshot lawyer.
Again, in classic Disney fashion, they always have those types
rags
of women.
to riches.
They have. I don't think she's terribly ugly, or not to judge people's looks, but she looks normal.
She looks like a poor man's Lauren Holly to me. Yeah. We were just watching Dumb and Dumber.
I could see that. She looks like someone's mom. Really. Yeah. That's how she was cast, and that's how she's made up.
Works at the diner, midnight shift.
Yeah. So Bombay's getting yelled at by Charlie's mom, the captain of the team, Charlie Conway. And
pretty crappy captain.
So yeah,
at this point,
so he's thinking in the back of his mind, hey, I gotta coach these crappy kids, but hey, kid's mom is not. I forgot about all the soccer moms, all the van moms. Gonna get with all these moms. He wasn't just thinking about Charlie's mom. He was thinking about Fulton's mom. He was thinking about Goldberg's mom. He was thinking, how many moms can I bang?
He had a mom thing, didn't he?
I bet he did.
He really did.
Yeah.
But she was the only mom that we saw,
right?
The whole movie. So
but again, off screen.
Yeah.
How many other moms was he trying to get with? Right?
Maybe he was really trying to do that, man. I don't know. You're right.
What do you think Goldberg's mom was doing?
Oh my god.
Right?
Yeah.
And hey, those Hall kids, the two black kids, the dad was active in the movie, but you didn't see the mom in the background. Yeah. Can you imagine him trying to get with that mom and that guy going after him? The dad, the Hall brothers' dad.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think you really figured, like he did. He had a thing for moms.
Yep.
That was his thing.
And he was kind of hesitant to go after her, like pursue it seriously. Yeah. When scenes with Charlie, it was probably because he had a couple more on the side.
He was keeping his options open.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. So we'll get into more of that later. Real quick before we get into a lot of the main plot points, do you want to go through the kids roster real quick?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do the roster.
I think you compiled a very detailed list of all the kids.
All right, so first of all, we got Charlie Conway. He's the captain, obviously. The mom is the love interest of the story.
Let me say something about Charlie.
Yeah.
Classic Lego hair. Okay?
Oh, he does. He has helmet hair.
He
does.
has Lego hair.
Yeah.
Like you could pop that off, and he would have the little like dot at the top, like
Yep.
pop another hairstyle on. Classic Lego hair.
So Charlie, he's like the main kid character of the movie. Gets super attached to Coach Bombay right away. He's desperate to have a father for his mom. They say somewhere along the lines of the movie that the dad was, I guess he did something, and the mom and the kid ran away.
They left, right?
They left the dad. So the dad did something.
Is this a kindergarten cop story where like the dad is like an ex-convict and he just kind of escaped?
That's the perfect scenario.
Like,
That's
why else would they live in Minnesota? They're in like and nothing against Minnesota, but they don't seem like they're from Minnesota. That's something that no one in this movie has an accent.
No one has an accent. I'm thinking
They're in witness protection.
Yeah, they're from the East Coast.
They're in witness protection.
Who goes to Minnesota, right?
His dad is actually the bad guy from Kindergarten Cop. With
absolutely.
The ponytail, the final boss of the internet.
You nailed it. You nailed it. Couldn't have said it better myself.
They're in my opinion, they look like they're in witness protection.
Yeah.
They don't belong in Minnesota.
Yeah. Conway's such a fake name.
Yeah.
Can't be their real name.
That's something the government gives you.
Yeah.
That's a fake name.
Yeah, Charlie Conway. Sounds fake now that I think about it. All right. So hockey play is good. He's good, right?
Yeah.
He's not the best, but he's solid.
He's a good leader, I guess,
Yeah,
because he's
put the C on his chest, and you're good to go. So you got the superstar Adam Banks, former Hawk. The rival team of the Mighty Ducks is the Hawks, and we'll get into the Hawks later.
Former Hawk, current cake eater.
So in the middle of the movie, Banks is the best player for the Hawks. He's the superstar, and in the middle of the movie, we find out that the zones were changed, and he's actually belongs on the Ducks based on where he lives.
Little gerrymandering, right?
Yeah. So he gets, for lack of a better word, traded to the Ducks midway through against his will and his dad's will, and everyone hates it except for Emilio Estevez. The other the Ducks hate it too because they think he's a cake eater. So
what is a cake eater? What I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we look that up?
I did look it up.
What does it mean?
A cake eater is, I think it's a Minnesota term.
Is it?
And it means it's basically a term for a rich boy, somebody who has their cake and eats it too.
Because he can eat cake.
Yeah, he has it and he eats it.
If this movie was rated R, what would he be calling him? I mean, we can't say it here, but
I know.
I think there might be a few 4-letter words that he would call him.
Yeah, much more hardcore than cake eater.
The current cake eater equals an expletive or two.
So he's the best player in the entire league.
Yeah.
And the Ducks hate him at first because he's one of the opposition, but they learn to love him over time. So the person who coined the term cake eater is next on our list. It's Jesse Hall and his brother Terry. They're little brothers.
Terry took the back seat to Jesse, didn't he? He was barely in it.
Barely in it. Not even necessary.
Yeah.
He was only in it so they could pass the joke, the Oreo line, which is the two black kids and the white kid in the middle as the center.
Oh my god!
They said that a couple times. It was a little uncomfortable.
Little racist for a Disney movie, right?
Just a little bit.
I mean, it's been a while since I guess Disney tackled those issues, but I feel like it was a little racist for that time.
Yeah, it was a little unnecessary, but in the 90s they made those types of jokes.
Yeah,
along with gay jokes, stuff like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Hall brothers, they're two African American kids, and probably the only two in the entire state
of Minnesota.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't know if Dave Chappelle made that joke before about Prince being the only person from Minnesota. So you got the Hall brothers. You got Averman.
God, I hate this kid. Can I tell you how much I hate this kid?
Thick-ribbed red glasses, chatterbox.
I hate this kid.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that he would get checked into, cross-checked from behind like Banks did, so the kid would shut up for the rest of the movie.
Exactly.
I hate that kid.
See, even as a kid, I hated him. I don't think anyone likes Averman. No one likes him.
Like, that kind of name, too. It's like Averman. Like, Averman. You know he's annoying.
Right. I don't even know his first name. We're just calling him Averman.
Whatever. His name's Averman.
Yeah. So you got Pete, the little troublemaker. This kid.
Who's Pete? I don't remember.
Pete is the tiny kid with a leather jacket.
Oh, the kid that wanted to be a tough guy?
Yeah, he acts like a tough guy. He looks like he's 6 years old. He's younger than all of them. He overhears a conversation with Bombay.
He's like 3'5".
Yeah, he's like 3'5". He overhears Bombay talking to the rival coach, and Bombay's being sarcastic, calling them losers, but it's in a sarcastic way.
That was, and when he said that, it was like the most blatant sarcasm in the world.
Yeah.
And they took it so literally. And the thing that I don't understand is, and I know it's a plot device here, we got to tell the story if we're Disney. It's cheap. And I feel like the thing about that bothered me was that they used sarcasm throughout the entire movie,
right,
all the way up to that point. And he's like, yeah, They are losers. I wish they were all dead.
He said it so sarcastically.
He said it in the most sarcastic tone ever said in the entire movie. And they just were like, I can't believe he said that he wished we were dead.
Yeah, so this little, for lack of asshole, Pete, this little prick, he overhears that, doesn't get the sarcasm at all, tells the whole team, and the whole team basically quits. They quit. And then it takes a begging Bombay to get the team back together.
So he caused this divide in the locker room, too. He was like T.O. there. He's like a cancer.
It's a locker room cancer, this Pete. I'm done with Pete.
He wasn't even good, too. Like, they didn't show him do anything positive.
I don't think he had any ice time.
I bet the actor couldn't skate, and they wouldn't let him on the ice. So he's just there. They had like a stunt actor for someone who could skate. They didn't show his face on the ice once that I know of.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
I mean, I forgot who he was.
So anyway, then we got Fulton Reed.
God, this kid, man.
Slap shot heard around the world.
Oh my God.
This is who I remember as a kid.
One trick pony.
He couldn't skate.
He hits 1 out of every 5 shots.
They taught him to skate on rollerblades. Now, I've done both, and I don't do either of them well, but it's not the same.
When's the last time you went ice skating?
20 years ago?
Probably me too, and I feel like I could skate better than this kid because he never did it before, and he goes and starts playing hockey against the Hawks. Yeah. The Hawks, to me, are like a minor league NHL team compared to this crappy Mighty Ducks team.
Yeah.
And skating on rollerblades is nothing like skating on the ice.
Exactly. And let me take this one further. Now, his signature move is this slap shot. Now, this kid has a slap shot that's NHL quality as a 12-year-old. Now, how do you think when he grows, the thing's going to be lethal?
See, to me, he's like the equivalent of when you go watch a high school football game and you see the kid that's like 6'5", 300 pounds on the offensive line and he's bullying over like 7 guys.
Right.
Like they can't get past him. That's what this kid is. I feel like they should check him for HGH or they need to check his papers and make sure he doesn't have like a faked birth certificate.
He's 22 years old.
The Little League World Series.
He's 22 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the 13-year-old kid at bat that's like 6'5".
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you
it's
see
like,
this
there's
all
no
the
way he's
time.
that
The
age.
Dominican Republic, you see it. So you got Fulton. You got Goldberg, the goalie.
Got the worst.
Greg Goldberg. I think his name is Greg.
Yeah.
I don't whatever.
Second worst to Averman.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Second worst.
He's the fat kid. They treat him as the fat kid, and it's kind of messed up that they single him out. But he's a goalie who's afraid of the puck, and it's just there's not much else to say about Goldberg other than he's just a liability out there.
But how can you be a goalie if you're afraid of the puck? Now, I want to know the backstory. Yeah. How do you think he got started as a goalie? Was it that everyone else like idolized Wayne Gretzky and they just want to score, or Mike Modano? So they're like, I don't want to play goalie. No. Like, you know, and they made him, and he just happened to like Ron Hextall, so he's like, I'll do it.
He's the fat kid. The fat kid stands in the goal.
And he didn't even have pads.
No.
Like, how can you be a goalie with no pads?
No wonder he was afraid of the puck.
Yeah. He's probably getting hit in the face, in the arm. I mean, surprisingly, he had all of his teeth.
Yeah. Like, these kids were wearing, like, football helmets, right?
Yeah, the one kid had, like, a punter's helmet with, like, the single bar across, which is ridiculous.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, you get a concussion from wearing that.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got Connie.
Which one's Connie?
Connie is the skilled girl.
Oh, the one that, like, dates that guy, Guy?
Yeah,
okay.
Guy.
Yeah.
Guy.
She's got puck handling skills.
So you got Connie and Jermaine. They're both really good. And they're kind of like solid contributors on the team. Like, there's not much else to say about them. They don't do a whole lot. They're not very exciting.
They're just there to play hockey.
They're there to play hockey. They're actually good. They're solid contributors. You got Carp, who's forgettable. He's the other fat kid, the lesser fat kid.
That's the kid from that movie, Heavyweights,
Heavyweights,
right?
Yeah, he's the main fat kid in Heavyweights.
The other fat kid.
And
is he fatter than Goldberg? I think he might be.
I don't know. Well, he's more disgusting than Goldberg.
Goldberg's just, he's got baby fat, kid fat.
You may remember him as a kid, the scene where they jump on top of the limo and he's the one sucking on the glass.
Yeah.
It makes you want to throw up. You want to punch him.
That is pretty gross.
Yeah, so that kid sucks. And then lastly and leastly, you have Tommy and Tammy, which is Pete
and Pete.
Little Pete from Pete and Pete.
Yeah.
Who is even smaller than this other Peter guy, not to get too confusing on you guys.
Danny Tamborelli.
Yeah. And then you got Tammy, who's a figure skater.
So they were hanging out at the ice rink, and they were like, well, we need some more people.
They need bodies.
They can skate, so let's get them. And he was like, oh, Mom's going to kill us. But then it was like, well, I don't care. If I have to figure skate with you, then you can play hockey with me. I'm going to say this. Their parents would not be cool with that.
No.
Like, they didn't have any of the gear. They didn't have anything.
Yeah.
The one girl, she still wears figure skating skates to play hockey.
So you have this creep coach who just got busted for a DUI community service, trying to gather up kids around the town.
I'm sorry, that's a little creepy.
So yeah, this town, needless to say, I guess they're starved for hockey action, and it goes first. Hockey comes first.
What goes through the minds of a parent when they know? I mean, I guess the other coach had a heart attack, right? That's what they said.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, what happened to your last coach?" He said, "Oh, he had a problem with his arm, and he like held his arm and fell over like he died."
He mimed a heart attack.
He mimed the heart attack. So the thing that I wonder is, if you're a parent of this team, I guess you have no choice in who's going to coach this place, because it's not going to be Jesse's dad.
Yeah.
I mean, he would probably be the obvious candidate,
Right.
But I feel like
he's working overtime.
Yeah, he doesn't know the first thing about hockey. He just knows like he's there clapping.
He's blue collar, hardworking man. You don't have time for that.
What do you think his job is? What do you think he does?
Oh, he's definitely works in construction.
Is he a construction
he
worker?
works construction.
He looks like that, or he works at like Home Depot or something.
Yeah.
Like he's the lumber guy. Like he just knows everything about construction.
I can see that.
Like very skilled, but just very handy, but knows nothing about hockey.
Right.
And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. It's just I don't think he'd be equipped to handle this team and this personality or this group of personalities.
Right, but he's the only other possible coach figure you see in the entire movie.
I mean, you could maybe have Charlie's mom do it, but she can't handle it.
She's working at a waitress job.
Yeah.
She's single mom trying to make ends meet. You can't.
Yeah, I don't know. They should have had the limo driver do it. I would like to see him. He's my favorite character in this movie, by the way. After rewatching it, we'll talk a little bit about that later, but the limo driver, totally underrated.
Yeah, he's great. All right, so that's the roster. Now, just a couple odds and ends here. How about we start with Riley?
Yeah.
Coach Riley.
I'll tell you what I think about Coach Riley, okay?
So please tell us who Coach Riley is. And shorten it up. Who is Coach Riley?
Coach Riley is the coach of the Hawks, which ultimately he's one of the most evil coaches I've ever seen in any type of movie, especially a kids movie.
Again, the Hawks are the rivals of the Mighty Ducks.
So you talk about having coaches that are angry and yell at kids. Like this guy was over the top.
Yeah, what did he do to Coach Bombay?
So Bombay, back in the day, I think it was 1978 or whatever the hell the time period was, but Coach Bombay, the game was tied. It was the championship game, which if you guys don't know, if you haven't seen this movie, which I hope you have, but the way that this town in Minnesota follows hockey is like how like towns in Texas follow high school football. It is the lifeblood of the town.
There are hundreds of people at these Pee Wee hockey games.
I find it suspect that at the Pee Wee level it would be that popular.
They have like jerseys and sweatshirts and hats with like the logos of these 9-year-old
Is that
kids'
licensed
teams.
gear? Is that licensed gear?
It has to be. Where do they buy this stuff?
They buy it from the Ghost of Hans shop.
They buy it from Hans' shop. All right, we'll get into Hans, but let's get back to Riley.
But Riley, basically, the game's tied and it ends, and someone has to take a penalty shot. And there's this flashback that Emilio Estevez keeps remembering.
Yeah.
He's like got nightmares about this.
Really screwed him up.
It screwed his whole life up. So he's remembering this shot that he had to take. He goes and he does the triple deke. Coach Riley makes him take the shot. He says, "All right, I want you to do this. Now, don't forget, not only if you miss this, are you letting the team down, you're letting me down." Now, that's pretty hardcore to say to like a 7-year-old.
He's like a 9-year-old.
Yeah. This kid, the actor looked younger than any kid in this movie at all.
And of course he missed the shot.
But he beat the goalie, right? So it's haunted him his entire life. Like he skated down, he did the 1, 2, 3 triple deke, and he hit the shot, and it clanked off the post.
Yeah.
Fail.
So ever since then, Bombay's been screwed up, always trying to chase the W, so to speak, in
chase
life.
The W, yeah. It's a euphemism for the rest of his life.
Turned him into a jerk, and now flash forward to Bombay coach of the Ducks. Now he runs into the Hawks coach. He's still Riley. He's still coaching 20 years later.
Doesn't look a day older, by the way.
And so for 20 years, this Coach Riley of the Hawks has been cultivating this constant stream of assholes into the world.
Yeah.
So he's using the same coaching tactics. He's teaching kids to injure players, injure the team's best player. If you don't win, you're garbage. If you don't win big, it's not worth winning if you can't win big, is his mantra.
That's to me, like, I don't know who the equivalent of this is in real life,
Man.
but I feel like there's got to be so many coaches that are actually like this.
Yeah,
That's why Disney built it off of this.
So this is like in the realm of sports movies, this guy is like the biggest jerk because it's 9-year-olds.
And for a kids movie, that's pretty hardcore
Yeah.
because, you know, and there's a moral of the story, right? It's that Bombay is the antithesis of Riley. But let's talk a little bit of how Riley winds up in Minnesota, okay?
Yeah.
Now, that guy sounds like he's straight from Texas. He has a southern accent.
He totally does.
There's no way that guy is a native of Minnesota. So what brought him to Minnesota for however many years to catch and coach a group of like 7 to 10-year-olds? I mean, this is Pee Wee hockey. It's not like, okay, this is juniors or something like where they're going to coach some kids that are going to make, you know, the NHL or make the entry draft or something.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids are very young. It's like doing, you know, Pee Wee football. They're like little kids.
Yeah.
I don't know how much talent that they can show that you can get out of them. I mean, when he missed that shot, they show that flashback and he's just laying there on the ice like so sad. And Riley, they're showing him and he's just like brooding because he's so mad.
Yeah.
And they make a point to show the banner in Hans's shop.
Yeah.
It's first place, second place, and it's yellow. It's like a big yellow
Burns
flag.
him up inside.
He can't deal with the fact that he came in second place and it's his fault. You said, ruined
he
his
calls
life.
Bombay. He tells him, "You're not a has-been. You're a never was.
You're a never was."
And that's 20 years of hate that Riley has just built up towards Bombay, and Bombay is throwing it right back at him.
I mean, who's worse? Okay, I'm going to throw this out to you. Who's worse, Coach Riley? Now, keep in mind the age group of these kids, but Coach Riley or the coach from Varsity Blues, John Voight?
Oh God. Well, it's John Voight because he makes his players play injured, play with concussions, play with each.
But how do you know that? How do you know that Riley wasn't doing that?
It's true. It's worse. No, it's worse because it's 9-year-olds.
I mean,
it's worse.
It's like this is really bad. I mean, like those kids could have had concussions, but he's going to make them play.
And to paint a picture, he's got this Hawks jacket, which is pretty sweet.
Actually, where can I get one of those?
Yeah. You got to find it at your local sporting goods
store. Do you think eBay has one? How about the Golden Closet? Do you think that
the
they
Golden
have one?
Closet definitely has his Hawks jersey?
Can we find? We got to look this up. Okay, we got to find out if we could find Coach Riley's like jacket on the goldencloset.com. Or we can ask the Golden Closet if they could acquire it for us and how much it would cost.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the goldencloset.com is a website where you can buy movie memorabilia, and it's pretty sweet.
One of our favorites.
Yeah.
From another life.
Yeah, not sponsored at all. We just love it. So
we love
please,
their site.
Please visit it and we'll check it out. But anyway, he's got his collar popped. He's snapping gum.
He continued okay. Is there anything cockier than chewing gum with your mouth open?
No.
Like he's chewing that gum like a cow, and he's just giving that like gun at him.
That's how he got the role. He walked into the audition. He didn't even read lines. He just snapped gum.
He wears his collar popped in real life.
And they're like, "You got the job, son.
Good job, guy."
All right. Anyway, so this got me thinking about my childhood. I don't know. Have you done a lot of team sports, organized team sports?
I've played some, right?
Yeah.
And I've had some coaches. I was in band, so I was a band geek a little bit.
Any kind of coaching, anything like this.
I mean, we had somebody that was very hard on us like that. I don't want to name names, but you know, it was pretty hardcore.
So when I was growing up, I was probably around the same kids, the same age as these kids, 9, 10 years old. I played basketball with a lot of my really good friends, like these kids, for my church league. It's a church league, mind you, right?
This kind of league.
Yeah. And we were pretty good. I mean, we weren't the Ducks. We were the misfits of the league, and so much that we were more physical than other teams. But if we lost, we got yelled at. And not on the bench, in front of people, in the locker room during halftime,
like they
at the end of the game.
Like he chewed you out?
Chewed you out. He would drop F-bombs at us, this guy.
How old were you?
We were 9 and 10, 11 years old. Yeah. F-bombs thrown at us. Now, this is the way my people were growing up. All right? So
it's a cultural thing.
We swear at each other all. Our whole community swears at each other pretty much.
I just imagine like little Badway in the locker room, like did you have rec specs? You
yes,
have glasses,
I did.
Right? So
yes,
you
I
had
did.
rec specs?
I did.
So you had the rec specs on and they were yelling at you and you're just like squinted through them. Like, did you cry? Did anyone cry?
No, nobody cried, but we were like scared.
If you cried, they probably would have yelled at you more.
That's why you can't show weakness. So I specifically remember this one time.
Do not show weakness.
We were down by like 20 points. I can't remember who, why, or where. We're down 20 points, and we're sitting on these little benches in the locker room.
Yeah.
And there's a mirror, and we're all facing the mirror. And this coach, he goes, "Look at that effing mirror. Look in the mirror. Are you proud of yourselves? Look at yourselves. I can't even look at you. You look at yourselves." And to this, I remember that so vividly. It's ingrained in my brain. And that is my...
Were you... How old were you?
9, 10, 11,
Oh my
something like
God.
that. I remember. It was my
this
church
guy's
league.
name Coach Riley? Was his name Coach Riley? I mean, that's a playbook. That's a play out of Riley's playbook.
It
right
was
there.
it was the kind of thing where like after the game, when a couple of us were together, it was like, can you believe that just happened? Like, it was funny after the fact, but while it was happening, we weren't sure what he was going to do. And I imagine that the locker room scenes for this guy are just as bad, if not worse.
He goes and throws a chair out on the ice.
So, so Coach Riley, is he abusing these kids? Like, not physically, like not Sandusky style.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he definitely hit somebody. I mean, they would never talk because he's got him so trained.
Like a back smack, right?
Yeah, or he's the kind of guy that would make them take slashes on the wrist with the puck.
Yes.
Or the hockey stick. Like, he would have them line up, and it's like, all right, boys, line up. Yep. Take a turn here, and he's got to slash him on the wrist.
So it's nobody's running laps.
Yeah.
They're taking
they don't
shots.
run laps, they take shots.
They're taking shots.
Or they do what Bombay did to Goldberg. They put him in goal,
Yeah.
and they have everybody shoot pucks at the kid. No pads.
But not goalie pads, just
no
your
pads.
regular equipment.
No equipment. Just, I'm telling you, they dress the kid up.
What about the teeth?
They don't care. No mouth protectors, nothing. I could see this guy lining them up in the goal and just having them shoot at him.
Yeah.
This guy is the worst coach of all time.
But he's the best.
He is the best.
But he's the best.
He just wins. He just wins.
All right.
So enough about him.
All right, let's go to Hans. Now,
I have a
you have a theory about
Listen,
Hans. Now, let me tell you who Hans is first.
Yeah, okay.
And then you get into it.
All right.
Hans runs the hockey shop in the town of Minnesota. I forget the name of the town, by the way. It doesn't
I think it's Minnetonka or something, right?
Whatever. He's the one guy in the movie I can feel like maybe he's from Minnesota. But he has like a German accent. But it seems like he's from there.
He's got a German sign, too.
So he's known Bombay since he was a little kid. He's got pictures all on his shop about it, about Bombay, about other Pee-wee hockey teams, some youth leagues, some college teams.
Kind of creepy, right?
Yeah, a little creepy. And he's a lifer. He's a Minnesota lifer. He owns the shop, and he's like the wise man who is there to like kind of teach Bombay his way, kind of like get him out of the funk that he's in, right? So he's kind of like the sympathetic figure, the kind of the moral compass of Bombay, so to speak. So what do you think about Hans?
So I have a theory, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't want to go too existential on us here, but
Please
I
do.
feel like in this movie, Hans does not exist. He's a ghost.
So
My theory is that now look, and I didn't ever think about this ever, but when you go back and rewatch
this
this
is the
movie,
benefits of the rewatch.
Yeah, when you rewatch this movie, I don't want to go Sixth Sense on us here.
Whoa.
But who does he actually interact with? If you go back, there's only 2 scenes.
Yeah.
And the one scene, to me, I don't know if he's a ghost, but I think that he is the mental projection
A figment of Bombay's imagination.
All right. So you go back and watch this movie.
Maybe.
There is one scene where he interacts with anybody, and it was hugging Charlie's mom at the end in the championship when they won the game.
Yes.
And that was the only time that he made physical contact with anybody. And I feel like if you watch the other scene where the kids are going on the shopping spree throughout the store, he just rung him up on the register. No one really talked to him. I feel like Hans is somebody that because Bombay was so screwed up in the head, like all he wanted to do was win, and he didn't have like this good conscience.
Yeah.
Hans was the good side of his conscience, and he just projected that onto like a person.
Yeah.
And Hans doesn't exist. He's like this old, I don't know why he thought of an old German man, but
So he never existed.
no, he never existed.
Not even during his
ever.
childhood.
Nope.
Whoa.
Nope. He's somebody, in my opinion, that he just kind of created in his head. You know, kids have like imaginary friends.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe he was abused or something, and that's why like he thinks of this like old man that hangs out with little kids
Yeah,
or
because
something.
why is he German?
He's like this old German man who lives in Minnesota. Very odd, right?
Yeah, right.
But I don't believe that he's a real person. I feel like throughout the movie, you can watch it. I encourage you all to go back and rewatch
That is very
this.
interesting. I never thought of that.
He's hanging around, and who does Gordon go back and talk to when he needs help? He goes to this shop that might be just some regular hockey shop.
I remember the scene of after Bombay's first game, and they lose horribly. They lose like 10-0 to the Hawks.
Yeah.
And Bombay's in the middle of yelling at them, the kids on the bench.
Yeah.
And he looks up and he sees Hans
A
just
ghost,
staring
man.
at him disapprovingly.
Yeah.
So then later on that night, he goes to Hans' shop when he's closed, and he says to Hans, why didn't you come say hi when you were there? He goes, oh, you were too busy yelling at the kids. Like, you know why he didn't say hi?
Because he doesn't exist.
Because he wasn't there.
He doesn't exist. He wasn't there. I'm telling you, I encourage all of you to go back and rewatch this movie and tell me that he exists.
So the one scene where he's hugging Charlie's mom,
yeah,
that could be anybody.
Yeah, it could be Charlie's grandfather for all we know. Like it was the visual, to me, the visual representation of the good of Bombay, doing the right thing. So his good conscience hugged the mom, who was the other person that he liked.
You know what's funny is every time they show Hans, it's because Bombay's like looking out for him somewhere. Like he's looking up in the stands. And there's Hans. He's never on the side. Yeah. He's not coaching the kids.
No, he doesn't do anything other than ring up the register and hug Charlie's mom, and that's it. And I'm telling you, I encourage you all to go back and rewatch it because he's a fake person.
This is the biggest movie twist
in the
history of entire cinema.
Now, watching this movie in a vacuum without knowing that Mighty Ducks 2 and 3 existed, I feel like, maybe in 2 and 3 they made him a real person.
He has a more prevalent role in it, but...
but as it stands...
from the first one.
In the first one, I think that he's a figment of Bombay's imagination, and... You know, maybe that's a little ridiculous to some people, but to me, I watched it. I'm like, this guy's like
that's
Bruce
interesting.
Willis, man.
I'm gonna have to go back now. I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at a couple of those scenes.
He's Bruce Willising it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Hans, and also like, because what guy like follows Pee Wee hockey to that level?
Yeah. He's got the standings.
He has everything. Yeah. He had like a chalkboard where he was drawing the standings. He's like, oh, if you guys do this, and this team's out with the flu, so you know, if you guys win, you know, you can make the playoffs. And it's like, what is the playoffs for this? What do they win? They wouldn't win anything. I mean, this is District 5, so I guess trophy. They're like the biggest losers, and they get some type of trophy. But, I mean, these kids, how could they even compete? That's something we didn't talk about. How were they legally allowed to play hockey when they didn't have the right pads? I mean, some of them didn't have a helmet. There's no way that they would let them play. They would have definitely made them forfeit.
All right, so I'm going to have to go back and rewatch that because that's pretty awesome. One more thing I wanted to get through here. What about Gordon Bombay's future as his future hockey career? So another interaction with Hans during that ghost scene in his shop, where Hans was reminiscing about Bombay's past as a Pee Wee hockey player, and apparently he was awesome. He rails off this fact that you were so great in '73 or whatever the year was. You scored 198 goals that year. What happened? 198 goals. Now, I did the math. It's fairly simple. They played 20 games. Yeah, they played 20 games in this league. 198 goals in 20 games is 9.9 goals per game.
For Pee Wee hockey.
Now, what kind of prodigy is that?
What kind of prodigy is that misses that shot then? Yeah. There's no way that he would hit the post.
If he scored 9.9 with a goalie in the way, it just doesn't add up.
Is he the only player on the team? Yeah. I mean, what were the scores of those games?
If you're playing a video game, you can't get you can boost all the stats. You can't get 9.9 goals per game.
We've played NHL hits before. Yeah. We've played NHL. Yeah. You know,
I've boosted stats. I've boosted Claude Giroux's stats.
You make everybody to 99.
Yeah. I can't get 9.9 per game.
There's no way you're getting 10 goals a game.
Right. So everybody's talking about how Bombay was such a prodigy, such a talent, and maybe Riley screwed him up in the head. I don't know. So they get the scene where they visit the Stars. At the time, they were Minnesota North Stars.
The North Stars.
Yeah. So they visit them, and Mike Modano, and who was the other player? I can't remember. It was another player, Mike Modano, at the time, played with the Stars. So they roll up and like, oh, look at that. It's Gordon Bombay. He really killed it in Pee Wee hockey.
You used to rule in Pee Wee
hockey. Let me know if you want to try out sometime. So
he was 11 years old.
Yeah. And Bombay's like, maybe I should. I don't know. So 11-year-old Mike Modano saw 11-year-old Gordon Bombay, thought he crushed it at Pee Wee hockey. So now 30-year-old Bombay, why don't you come in for a tryout?
20 years later. Come on, buddy. I heard you were really good. I saw you. You played. You scored 9 goals a game.
Guy just laced the skates up for the first time in 20 years yesterday.
I thought he figured out how to re-skate again pretty quick, but I don't know. I guess it's like riding a bike. Like they had that montage of him doing like the small skating. Like he just laces him up. He gave it up.
Well, that's when we found out that's when he turned his heart from drunk guy, angry guy to heart of gold.
I still don't believe he had a heart of gold. Yeah. I still think he had a thing for moms.
That's the mom bag, definitely.
But that is hilarious. Like, how would a tryout with him go? Well, I mean, he's playing against probably 17-year-olds.
So we asked this not because of a hypothetical situation, but because at the very end of the movie, after the Ducks beat the Hawks, spoiler alert, the Ducks beat the Hawks. I know, I can't believe it. You can't believe it. It happened.
That would never happen again.
By the way, Charlie made a game-winning penalty shot goal just like Bombay couldn't do.
But he hit it.
He hit it because Bombay gave him the positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
A lot of thought goes around in this league. A popular thing is, should Charlie have taken that final shot?
I don't think he should have. I think they should have given it to somebody else. Like the skills guy, Guy. He should have taken it.
Yeah, a lot of people are upset, but it's the captain. You give it to the captain.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean...
That's a lot of internet chatter.
Listen, you
I'm
play
all
to win
about
the game.
Charlie. You give it to Charlie.
You play to win the game.
No, it's the captain. He's got the heart. He knows what he's doing. So Charlie hits the shot. He wins the game. They celebrate on the ice. Cut to a scene after a couple weeks later. They're all outside of a bus. Bombay's got his bag. Again, it's a Ducks bag that says Coach Bombay on it. Like, I don't know where this gear is coming from. So he's kissing everybody goodbye, saying goodbye, kissing Charlie's mom goodbye, because he's about to get on that bus and go try out for the Dallas North Stars minor league team. Now, how would that go? Like, he's literally going for it at the end of this movie.
I'm just going to say he's going to get his ass kicked and he's going to break his back.
So he's 30 plus. Well, let's call him...
I think he said he was 31.
Let's call him 31.
He's 31.
Okay, he's 31. He's going up against 18, 19-year-olds.
Probably even younger, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he was in minor league, right? So it's minor league club.
And we're talking about a guy who, in the past 20 years, the only kind of ice time he's had was in the last couple weeks.
On a pond.
Just skating with these kids.
On a pond.
Hit on a pond, hitting pucks,
hitting
eggs. Hitting eggs, trying to teach the kids the finer points. He's had no competitive streak, no nothing. Hasn't taken a shot on net other than shooting at Goldberg.
Which, by the way, too, and this is just one last point that I want to make about this, but what if you're the Zamboni driver? How pissed are you that they cracked those eggs? Like, they must have cracked, like, you go to Walmart or something, you get like the 50 dozen egg thing. We do that for like egg toss or whatever. Like, how pissed are you if you're the Zamboni driver? They didn't clean that up.
That surface was all yoked up.
There's no way that they clean that up unless they made the limo driver do it.
Hey, he was at the time he was still employed with a law firm, so he just throw some money at it and it's all good.
I know we don't have much time, but the limo driver, to me, most underrated character of the whole film. I mean, that's the guy that was, I don't know if anyone else has watched Lost, but he was in Lost as like Mr. Smiley or whatever the heck the guy's name was. He had the beard or whatever. But that guy, so he was legally obligated to hang out with Bombay in the beginning, and Bombay was a jerk.
Yeah, he was his driver from the law firm.
He made him drive the limo out on the ice, risked all their lives and the kids, as Charlie's mom said. But guy just kind of hung out, and he was dressed regularly. He told some stories about what he did. Like, he was like a roadie in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see that movie.
He's a pretty cool dude.
I want to see that movie.
So,
that guy's just hanging out with the team.
So that's the thing. So in the middle of the movie, another ridiculous thing we don't have time for, Bombay gets fired from his law firm over the Adam Banks scandal, which is ridiculous. But anyway, so he's fired, but the limo driver still hangs around.
Don't you think that he could have sued them for firing him? He's a lawyer.
Well, of course.
Like, I wonder if he sued Ducksworth after it was over.
He did.
Yeah,
that's
he
why
should've.
he wasn't working in D2. He was just the coach because he had that lawsuit money, baby.
Yeah.
He had that lawsuit money.
Because I want to know what he does after this. I mean, if I'm him, I'm going to say, hey, Ducksworth.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Ducksworth. Quack, quack, Mr. Ducksworth.
Yeah.
Sue, Mr. Ducksworth. You're going down. He takes him to the judge.
So to wrap it up, we're saying that he gets on that bus. He fails miserably at this tryout.
Yeah.
Gets his ass kicked.
Yes.
Possibly broken bones.
I mean, he's in a hospital.
Yeah.
He's going to be in a body bag.
While he's in the hospital, he's reading the law books, comes back, sues Duckworth. He owns that law firm now.
Yeah.
And now he's free to coach Pee Wee hockey and USA hockey.
Yeah.
As long as he wants.
So he winds up becoming a millionaire because I could see him a vendetta. Like, he is. Because there's no way he's making that team. Like, I know that they're trying to encourage him and say, oh yeah, Mr. Bombay. And he was like, yeah, you know what? Like, oh yeah, guys, I'll be back. Don't worry. No matter what, don't remember, I'll be back with you next season. You know what? I think he never went to the tryout. He went to go pull some more moms. He's like one of those truck drivers. Yeah, he's like one of those truck drivers that has like families on like the West Coast and the East Coast.
Yeah.
Like, he went to wherever they were going to try out, and he coached another Pee Wee team. Like, and he tried to get with whoever Charlie's mom is for whatever team. He went to Canada.
So is it possible that this is like a Californication situation going on? He's a sex addict?
Yeah. He's actually a sex addict.
Is Gordon Bombay a sex addict?
Yeah, and he actually went to another town to hit on some more moms.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
I see it.
But whatever.
Yeah.
So what did this movie get on Rotten Tomatoes? Do you know what the score was?
I think it was 15. We looked it up. 15%, which is kind of bull because
It's a kids movie.
kids
and I think
movies
that's
get
unfair.
bashed by critics, and I have a problem with critics in general telling people what's
Yeah.
good, what's bad. But especially the kids movie, unless it's a Pixar movie,
Yeah.
like it's getting less than 20% on Rotten Tomato, which is a flawed system in its own right. But it's an easy way to gauge.
We'll have to look up Metacritic, I guess.
But I think I got a 6.4 user rating on IMDb or something. Which
That's fair, I
which
guess.
is fair.
But even still,
but still, anyone I've ever talked to, growing up,
you look back fondly
you
on
like
this
this movie.
Yeah.
So watching the movie now versus then, what do you take from it?
I think that I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
And I kind of had those feelings I had when I was a kid watching it. Like, I used to like hockey a lot. I mean, I still do, but I loved hockey as a kid. I liked to play it. I like to play roller hockey. We used to play all the time, me and my brother. So I think it was one of those things where it kind of brought back those memories in a good way. And I kind of forgot that I like Emilio Estevez. I wish he was in more stuff.
Yeah, right.
It would be interesting to see what would happen if Charlie Sheen was the coach in this instead of Emilio.
You know who I was thinking also? John Cusack was another one.
Yeah, he could have been the coach.
I feel like one of those three could have been the coach.
You really could swap him out and put Cusack in that movie, and I wonder what he would have. It would have been the same, probably. Yeah, I think this movie was good. Looking back on it, I still enjoyed it a lot. There was no point when I was watching it that I was like, this is still going on.
Right. You go back and watch a kids movie that you watched when you were 10 and watch it now, like you could get bored by it. I was not bored at all. I mean,
I know
it was brisk. It was like an hour 40. It was brisk, and I really enjoyed it for different reasons now, just as much as I did when I was a kid.
It was a little dated in that the styles were dated, but in general, I thought the movie itself aged pretty well in terms of plot and things like that. It's not like Saved by the Bell where you go back and watch it and it's like cringeworthy.
Yeah, well, there was that montage in Hans's shop where they were buying equipment, and Marky Mark was playing in the background.
Okay, that was dated, and like I said before, the neon colors on all the stuff, like Charlie's Lego hair, the helmet hair. I mean, I liked it a lot. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it was better or worse than when you saw it as a kid?
I think it was. I mean, I can't say it was better because when you're a kid, everything's better. Like,
that's
I
true.
remember watching it as a kid. It got me into hockey, as you said. The hockey, it kind of was like a hockey boom, like a propaganda almost in a way. I don't know if that was the case, but I remember starting we're from the Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area, and I started getting it. I started watching the Flyers shortly after watching this movie, and it kind of got me into it.
Goldberg was Philly representative.
Yeah, you watch the movie for the goofy pranks and little kids, mischievous, this and that. But now, again, with the whole Bombay aspect of it, the Coach Riley aspect of like the psychological trauma that he caused him, that was very interesting to me. Like, not just for like just overall talk about a kids movie, that was a very interesting plot to me. I wonder if my parents, if they watched it with me, if they were thinking the same thing back then.
And I wonder how many parents at that time like related to that, because like especially if your parents were watching that with you and they see like the coach and they think about your basketball team when you're a kid. I wonder if they've had any experiences with that. Like, I wonder if we were to show this to like your nephew or something, would he like this movie? Would he not like this movie? I wonder what a kid these days would think of this movie.
Well, yeah, because think about it. I mean, that happened to me in the 90s, just as this movie was happening in the 90s, but Bombay got abused mentally by Riley in the 70s.
Yeah.
So what if that was more common in the 70s? And Riley was kind of a dinosaur type coach in the 90s day and age.
You ever see those things on YouTube where they recut movies or they recut like movie trailers and like it could be a comedy and they try to make it like very serious?
Yeah.
I would love to see, and maybe somebody's done it, like a fan cut of this movie, but done in like the most serious with like
it could easily be done.
Yeah, like with very ominous music and Riley like, because you could cut certain scenes out. Like if you cut out the comedy and you add different music to that,
sure, you
could make it like some pretty creepy like Lifetime movie type.
Yeah, there were a lot of scenes and a lot of quotes in there that you could twist to make a really ominous type of movie. Absolutely.
I mean, the quote that I would leave everybody with is, "It's not worth winning if you can't win big." I mean, that's a Coach Riley, vintage Coach Riley right there. I mean, on top of the one that you said before, but. Originally when Bombay was teaching them, he had to take the fall, act hurt, get indignant.
Take the fall, act hurt, get indignant.
He had him in the corner, and Charlie was the bigger man, and he refused to fall, but he told him, like, that guy's twice your size. You got to go in the corner, grab your eye, like he slashed you.
That's why Charlie was the captain. He knew. Yeah. He knew right away.
He was the moral compass.
This way. You can't win this way.
The moral compass. Yeah. Who was your favorite character of the whole movie?
Oh, man. I liked Jesse Hall, honestly.
Yeah, he's just keeping it real.
Yeah. The older of the two brothers, the Hall brothers. He's very skillful. He kept it real. wasn't taking any of Adam Banks' shit.
He's like a Mike Vick.
Yeah.
You know, I know I'm the best.
Yeah.
We would have won more games if I was playing.
Right.
He probably thinks he should be the captain.
Put him on the ice. He's the guy. He was my favorite.
Yeah, I probably liked him, but I really liked Banks. I liked Cake Eater.
Yeah.
Because he went from making fun of them
Yeah.
to being one
He
of them.
became one of them.
But you know, I think this is another point we glossed over, but how quickly these kids went from not being able to skate
Yeah.
to becoming like beating the best team. I mean, that's the equivalent to me of like a pee-wee football team playing like a college team. The
Hey,
difference in
listen.
skill
It's Disney magic, baby.
and size.
It's Disney magic.
And I think we'll find out in Mighty Ducks 2 that a lot of their tricks, like the flying V, which has no strategic value whatsoever other than confusing the other team,
Yeah.
gets quickly figured out.
Yeah, that's why it worked once. It worked
Yeah.
one time because it was confusing. After that, you just crush them.
I think at some point, you know, doing this show, which we're going to be doing now for, you know, every week now or so, we should try to watch 2 and 3. And maybe
down the
we
line.
could
I think
compare
down the
them.
line. Yeah.
I'm not saying next week, but we could compare them
Yeah.
to this and let
Sure.
other people weigh in on what they think of those movies and which one's their favorite.
Oh,
right?
we'll be back, and if we do movies with sequels, I think that's a good thing. That we'll continue it down the line.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts on this movie?
I mean, I think we pretty much hit all the major points there.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was good. I was happy to watch it. I wasn't bored.
Yeah,
So,
it was definitely worth my time, and it makes me want to see the other two now. But I'll avoid temptation until it's
Yeah.
time to do another show.
yeah, we'll have to wait because I don't want to ruin it. You know.
You got to spread the ducks love out a little
yeah.
bit. You can't shoot your
You
waddle.
can't go
at one
back to
time.
back.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
So I think we want to know what you guys think. What did you guys think of this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Does it hold up well? You know, does it remind you of what you saw when you were a kid? You know, let us know. Write into us, send us an email, tweet at us. You know, let us know what you think. Call in the voicemail.
We're looking forward to feedback. I mean, we would love it. And also, if you have any kind of recommendations for future movies you want to hear, I mean, that would be great. I mean, we would love to base our movie watching off of your feedback. So,
because we can
drop
pick
us
the
a line.
movies all we want, but there might be something that we never saw that we could watch for the first time again that you guys think is funny to watch, and we could kind of recast it or whatever we want to do. So, well, if you have anything to say to us, you know, be sure to head on out to our website. It's thelastrowpodcast.com. You can follow us on Twitter at The Last Row Pod. You can look for us on Facebook, like we said before, The Last Row Pod. And we're also on Google+. Head on out to iTunes. Give us a 5-star if you're interested. And leave us a voicemail. 415-779-5278. 415-779-LAST.
Last.
So let us know what you think. You know, hit us up.
All right. Until next time, Drew.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you later.
See ya.
See you.